Everyone knows that the anarchist Fanya Kaplan shot at Vladimir Lenin. But she did not kill the leader of the world proletariat. However, who was Kaplan? Why did she commit the assassination attempt? And most importantly, how the Bolsheviks punished her for this is something not many people know. In this video, we will analyze the causes and consequences of the most famous assassination attempt on Lenin. And while the intro is playing, give a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. The woman known as Fanya Kaplan had a different name at birth. Feiga Roidblad was born on February 10, 1890, in the Volhynia Governorate of Ukraine. Feiga's father was a melamed, which translated from Hebrew means teacher. The girl began to take an interest in revolutionary activity very early. In the year 1905, when the first Russian Revolution was breaking out in the empire, Feiga, aged 15, joined a circle of anarchists receiving the nickname Dora in the revolutionary underground. Feiga herself introduced herself to everyone as Fanya Kaplan. In the year 1906, the leadership of the circle delegated the 16-year-old girl to Kiev to prepare a terrorist act against Governor-General Sukhomlinov. Together with Dora went her illegitimate husband, the adventurer, bandit, and revolutionary Viktor Garsky. Birth name: Yakov Schmidman. The young people stayed at the Kupecheskaya Hotel in Kiev, where, after some time, an explosion of an improvised explosive device took place. It is not known even now who exactly accidentally activated the bomb, Kaplan or Garsky. Shrapnel hit Fanya in the head. The girl partially lost her sight, but did not suffer grave wounds. After the explosion, the police were brought to the hotel. Fanya tried to run, but was detained, and Garsky managed to hide. The characterization from the year 1906, written by a Kiev policeman about Fanya Kaplan, was preserved. Jewess, 16 years old, without defined occupations, owns no personal property. On her, she has money, 1 ruble. On January 5, 1907, the trial took place in Kiev. The sentence was cruel, the death penalty. However, the execution was soon replaced with hard labor for life. The court took into account that Fanya was a minor. Kaplan was to serve her sentence in Transbaikalia, in the famous Akatui hard labor prison, where initially criminals were sent, and later those convicted under political articles. Kaplan, in accordance with the rules of execution of sentences in force then, was handcuffed and sent with the transport. On August 22nd, the girl arrived at the prison. In detention, it turned out that the explosion affected Kaplan's health much more than it seemed. In the year 1909, the prison doctor gave Fanya, aged 19, a grim diagnosis: deafness, chronic rheumatism of the joints, and almost total blindness. At hard labor, Fanya Kaplan met the famous socialist revolutionary Maria Spiridonova. This girl, the daughter of a college secretary from Tambov, at the age of 22, committed at the station in Borisoglebsk the assassination of the advisor to the governor of the Tambov Governorate, Luzhinovsky, who in the year 1905 led the repression of peasant uprisings. Spiridonova's account of how she stalked her victim for a long time, how finally, catching the moment, she carried out the so-called justice, shook Kaplan. And from a political point of view, Maria Spiridonova had an extremely strong influence on Kaplan. Unlike the anarchists, the SRs, socialist revolutionaries, had a quite concrete plan on how to overthrow the hated power and reorganize Russia. Thus, Fanya Kaplan became a socialist revolutionary. It was extremely hard for Fanya Kaplan in detention, even harder than for other prisoners. Because of the explosion, her health was shattered, a fact aggravated by an extremely heavy neuropsychological state. The prison doctors wrote that Kaplan's blindness worsened specifically against the background of constant hysterics. Nevertheless, the young girl endured the deprivations with courage and did not write any request for pardon. In the year 1913, there was a new amnesty in the empire. Of course, Kaplan was not set free, but the hard labor term was reduced to 20 years. In the year 1917, the February Revolution broke out, after which all political prisoners, and unfortunately many criminals, were released from prisons. Fanya Kaplan also came out to liberty. In the year 1906, a girl of 16 was locked in shackles, and in 1917, The hard labor prison was left by a sick woman of 27 who looked much older than her age. Straight from hard labor, Kaplan went to Moscow to her friend Anna Piggott. Anna's uncle owned a tenement house on Bolshaya Sadovaya Street, the same one that, after some time, Bulgakov described in the novel The Master and Margarita. Piggott lived in apartment number 5. Fanya Kaplan also settled there. Immediately after the revolution, the provisional government opened a sanatorium in Crimea for political convicts sentenced to hard labor. Kaplan received a referral ticket there without problems and went to the south. In Yevpatoria, Fanya met Dmitry Ilyich Ulyanov, Lenin's younger brother. Ulyanov, using his extensive connections, obtained for Kaplan a referral to Dr. Hirschman's ophthalmology clinic, one of the best in Russia. Fanya went to Kharkov, where she had a successful eye surgery. Kaplan began to distinguish silhouettes and finally could orient herself in space. When her ticket to the sanatorium expired, she, not wanting to leave Crimea, rented a room in Sevastopol and started holding educational courses for the locals. In the year 1918, Fanya Kaplan resumed active contacts with the socialist revolutionaries. The woman visits the council of the Socialist Revolutionary Party, makes the acquaintance of prominent figures of this political movement. During a meeting, the head of the SR combat organization, Grigory Ivanovich Semyonov, gives Kaplan a Browning. Just in case, times are troubled. If only the future Bolshevik Semyonov knew how Fanya would use his gift. At the end of the summer of the year 1918, Kaplan returns to Moscow. On August 30th, at the Michelson plant in Zamoskvorechye, a large rally of workers was planned with the participation of Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. Immediately after the rally, Lenin headed through the courtyards towards his automobile when suddenly several shots rang out. Ilyich fell. The driver rushed to the revolutionary, lifted him up. "Did they catch him?" asked Lenin, losing consciousness. Ilyich was sure that a man had shot him. The workers rushed to search for the shooter. At the tram stop on Bolshaya Serpukovskaya Street, the worker Ivanov saw a woman in a long black dress and a hat. Ivanov wanted to ask the lady a question if she didn't see the shooter running nearby, but she declared that the shooting of Ilyich is the work of her hands. Also, Kaplan added something like, "I shot at the proposal of the socialist revolutionaries. I did my duty with bravery, and I will die with bravery." Ivanov detained Kaplan. She, by the way, did not resist at all. The woman was taken to be searched. On Fanya were found a train ticket, a little money, a mirror, and a Browning with a characteristic smell from the barrel. It was evident that this weapon had just been fired. The main thing the investigators wanted to understand was why the revolutionary Kaplan shot at the leader of the world proletarian revolution. Kaplan declared that she considers the October Revolution a global evil, that her ideal is the Constituent Assembly, which the February Revolution and the SR Party demanded. Kaplan decided to kill Lenin in the winter of the year 1918 in Simferopol, when the Bolsheviks dissolved the Constituent Assembly. Fanya expressed her conviction that Lenin betrayed the revolutionary ideals and is building a dictatorship. Kaplan named the assassination attempt exclusively her initiative. The Bolsheviks did not believe it and accused the right-wing SRs, as well as Western spies, of the attempt. On the same day that Kaplan shot at Lenin in Moscow in Petrograd, the SR Leonid Kanegisa shot the chairman of the Cheka, Moisei Uritsky. These two assassination attempts became the starting point of the spiral of Bolshevik repressions, which received the name of the Red Terror. Thus, it turns out that Kaplan's shot became the cause of a huge number of deaths. After Fanya was called a British spy, her fate was sealed. For the attempt on Lenin, the punishment could be only one: death. Neither her revolutionary past, nor the long period of detention under the Tsarist regime, nor the close relations with Lenin's younger brother helped her. Kaplan did not even have a formal trial. The decision regarding the shooting was taken personally by the head of the VTSIK, Sverdlov. On September 3, 1918, Fanya Kaplan was taken out to the courtyard of the Combat Auto Detachment of the All-Russian Central Executive Committee, located on the territory of the Kremlin, and was shot. The commandant of the Kremlin, Pavel Malkov, handled the direct execution of the sentence. Present at the execution was the famous proletarian poet Demian Bedny, who actively participated in the cremation of the corpse. This is how the life of Feiga Roidblad ended. Dora, Fanya Kaplan, the woman who, for the sake of her ideals, was ready to cross any limit. I hope this video was interesting. Please, help me with the promotion of the channel. Give a like, and also share your opinion and, of course, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. All the best, and see you soon.